Hi, I'm Mindy Turner with the Curry County Cooperative Extension Service, your Family and Consumer Science agent. We are kicking off a brand new series for the month of March and April. We are looking at crafting for mental health. Did you know that research has shown finishing a project gives people not just a sense of success, but helps kind of alleviate symptoms of depression and anxiety? So one of the things that we want to encourage people to do is to keep their mind engaged, to continually be working on and doing things. Now, sometimes what we need is just a way to relax, and crafts can be a great way to help us do that. And in this series, we're going to look at some very simple crafts. Some of them use minimal supplies, things that you can just find around the house, put together, and have something that you can give as a gift to someone if you want to share it, or just put that time in for what you want to do. Today, we're going to look at using positive words. Now, it's fantastic to be able to share those signs, those favorite words, quotes, phrases, whatever that looks like to you. We're starting with this one to think about maybe what it is we want to say or we want to remind ourselves of, because we're going to carry that theme through all of the other projects and types of crafts that we're going to look at. Now, you can find your positive word, your positive phrase in a variety of ways. Most of us already have one. Maybe there's a movie quote or a book quote that really speaks to you, or a word that you continually use kind of as your mantra. Some people have that wonderful word a day calendar that's going to give you some new positive words that you might not have thought about before. People post on their social media, share a word with me that I can incorporate throughout the year. Those are all great ways to come up with something that speaks to you. And then you can incorporate that into some type of a craft. Maybe a sign. You can use decals, you can stencil it. It can be on metal. This is a purchased one, but obviously we could also purchase a decal. You've seen in some of my other videos in my office, I have some metal galvanized trays that actually have decals on them with words that are important to me. So those are the kind of things that you can think about, that you can make and build. This one, actually a friend made this for me, but they used a die cutter to cut the vinyl letters and make this so that it has my name, my job, title, those kind of things on it. Canvases can work great for this. Any type of a wooden sign. You see the ones behind me on the wall with different things on them that started out just wood to put together. Again, pre-purchased, or things that you can make yourself. So one of the fun things in thinking about what's something you could put out there, and even change it up if you wanted to. Obviously, chalkboards, whiteboards, things like that are great. But today, we're gonna look at letter boards. Now, if you look at this, this is just a standard, what we would think of as a menu board, okay, a letter board. It's felt. I purchased this one, okay, it's made to hang on the wall. It came with the board and letters to go with it. It was about $40 at the craft store. I'm gonna show you how to make your own for under 10. And if you make multiples of them, they would get cheaper as you made them, because I've got a lot of supplies left over from the first one. So what you're gonna need in order to do this, we're gonna take a frame. Now, I bought these frames at a dollar store, so they were like $1.50 a piece. I purchased these because I wanted, it had a mat in it that I needed for something else. So they were actually left over from another project. And we're just gonna take the insides out of it. Now, you can use a frame. You can use a frame that's more inset. This one is inset from the back side. And when I start putting it together, I'll show you why that's important. Or it can be inlaid from the front. I like the back side because it made it easier for me to make the craft without having to worry quite as much about neatness in order to do that. And then some dowels. We're gonna use 1/4-inch dowel rods. This was the most expensive part of putting this together. They've gotten kind of high. If you wanted to purchase, these were purchased at the craft store individually. You could purchase them in a pack. You can purchase them perhaps at the lumber yard or the home store at a longer length where it might be cheaper per piece. That's just something to look for. Or you may have these stuck in your garage from some project the kids worked on years ago. Okay, and then just some felt. I did purchase larger pieces of felt. I purchased a couple different colors. We are just using black today, but I picked up some green. Thought we might want to make some 4-H boards at some point. So those are the kind of things you're gonna need. And then some hot glue, and of course your fabric scissors. So what what we're gonna do, we're gonna create, basically you can see, very similar to the store-bought one. The back of mine is not as pretty, but we're gonna fix that here in just a second. So what we wanna do is we're gonna take our dowels and we're gonna cut them to fit into whatever frame we want. Now, obviously you can make whatever size you would like. So one of the things to consider, like I said, this that's on the wall, maybe I came across this somewhere at a garage sale, a thrift store, picked it up very inexpensively, and I didn't want it to say this. I could reuse this frame to become my letterboard that I'm gonna utilize somewhere to decorate and put a positive word on that I can share. So I'm gonna cut my dowels to fit in whatever shape I have. So of course, like I said, let me pick up the blank frame here. I've cut these. They're just a little over 6 inches, so they fit right in to this space. So I have my dowel pieces, and then I just need strips. Now, you can use velvet, you can use the felting, if you have a fleece, something that's gonna give a little weight to it to keep it kind of together and then help your letters stick to it, it's gonna be your best bet. Now these are cut the same length as my dowels, okay? So we are gonna be able to wrap them. And then because it's a 1/4 inch dowel, this is right at 1 inch. Okay, so it's 1 inch by just that over 6 inches, just like my dowels. The easiest way to wrap them, trust me, I tried a lot of ways. And the issue with your hot glue, of course, is always burning your fingers. So we've got to be careful with how we do that. So I just run a layer of glue down the middle and stick my dowel to it. So now it's basically just stuck onto the fabric. And then I'm gonna run a little bit of glue down the side, one side of the fabric, and push it over on top of it so that I'm not touching the glue, but I've rolled that edge over. It's a little trickier on the other side to keep it, and I've been using my nails, but it's also good, and we talked before about just having a butter knife that you can use to push things over, or they have all kinds of little craft tools you can purchase to help you do that. But just to kind of push that up and over so that you can squeeze it together. Now, because depending on what type of backing you're using, this will be to the back of my project. If it doesn't seal completely, if it's not 100% lined up and pretty and perfect, that's okay, because the front side's gonna look great. And that's the part people will see. Part of when we talk about putting together crafts and that we wanna help it be relaxing and we wanna have something that's not outrageously expensive that we can do is thinking about, for those people who really are perfectionists and they're gonna spend a little extra time and they're gonna cut everything exactly so and put their stuff together that way, and that is great. And that works wonderful for them. But for those of us who just kind of wanna relax and get it done and have a finished product, these are things that are gonna work well for us. Okay, so we've got that put together. Once you have your dowels wrapped and ready to go, we are going to inset them into our frame. And we're gonna try to keep them close together and push them down. Because of the way this frame is made, what I've done, put a little glue on each side, lay them in, push them down tight, and then I've gone back with the glue and just kind of filled in on that edge to make sure that they have stayed in tight. So we'll go ahead and add this one in, just glue on the edges, drop it in there, making sure the back is to the back, right? Because it's not pretty like the front. And get it down in there tight. I have room for a couple more that I can put in there to finish this off. And then I am just gonna go ahead and take, because again, the way this frame is made, I can take the back that I took off and go ahead and lay it back over. So now that back part that wasn't so pretty doesn't show. I have the front that is my board. I can take my letters. Now you can order letters in a variety of sizes, depending on what size board you want to make and what you want to do. You can order them different colors. I always think these would be really fun gifts. You can make pink or blue or make it go along with the theme to do like a baby gift with their name on it and give them the letters, and then they can switch those out. But having your letters where you can put them in and make it say, again, if you want it to say a phrase, if you want it to just say one word. I made this one say joy. We'll see if I can get it to stand up. Oh, I didn't get them in there good enough. But so you'll put your letters on there, and then they come typically like this. So there's a big set, so you have enough to make whatever phrase words that you want to share. One of the best tips I saw, also when you get all this together, and it's always hard to get all of the glue off and everything sticks to black, you've got all these little flecks of stuff, take a lint roller and roll over the top of it to clear off all of that dust and extra pieces of glue and all that good stuff. And you've got a great letter board that you can take with you and share, use it as a decoration in your own home, give it as a gift with just a few simple supplies. Hopefully you've thought of your word, your phrase that you want to put out there, whether it's using decals or stenciling it onto something fun that you want to use, or just making your own letter board. That can contribute to how you feel every day, looking at that positive word, having that positive thought. So we're crafting this month for mental health. I hope you'll join me back here next time. Again, I'm Mindy Turner with the Curry County Cooperative Extension Service. You can check us out online at curryextension.nmsu.edu, or you can stop by our office, 818 North Main in Clovis.